Welcome to Ghost Clash Gaming, and in this video we're going to be talking about my favorite primary weapons to take into the Crucible. Alright, let's get into this. So the first gun on my list is the mythic multi-tool. It basically has mythic multi-tool, obviously. That makes you faster on the battlefield. It also has quick draw, field scout, and lightweight. I'm usually running around using lightweight, but right now I have quick draw on. Not quite sure why. Anyways, I'm going to share some clips of me using it. True Vanguard recently had a video about the reticle on this gun. I'll try to find it and leave a link in the description below to the video that I'm talking about. But anyways, this is just a lot of fun to use this gun. You can zip around the battlefield. You can it's got some its sights are pretty clean, easy to use. I'm not a big fan of the reticle. I'd rather it just be a dot, but other than that, this weapon is really a really good gun, and it's fun to use, especially on longer maps. The Mida is a scout rifle, and so it's good on big maps, long ranges, doesn't have a lot of damage fall off. The Mida also has a fairly high rate of fire, as you can see in this clip here. You can shoot pretty quickly, and it only takes four headshots to kill an opponent in the Crucible. Usually, you know, it takes 4 or 5, 6 at the outmost if you're land a couple body shots, but it kills pretty quickly. It definitely does work in the Crucible, that's for sure. And if you're running a speed build like a Night Stalker or a Blade Dancer or even a Titan that can skate and things like that, a Mida just really complements those types of builds. The one thing to keep in mind when using the Mida though is that you do have to, it does reward accuracy. The more headshots you get, the faster it kills. And you don't want to be messing about when you're using a scout. See, like right here, like look how long it takes me to take that guy down. I mean, I don't know how many shots I fired there, maybe 6, maybe 7. Way too many though. But if you catch them unaware like I did there, then that's fine, like if you're doing a flank. But if it's a one-on-one, that isn't good enough. That's not nearly fast enough. So yeah, this, like I said, this gun's just a lot of fun to use. It's just, if you like zipping around the maps and taking charge that way, then this is the gun for you, that's for sure. So my next gun on my list is the Bad Juju. So this badass gun has full auto, even though it's a pulse rifle. So you can just hold the trigger down and it'll fire away. And it has a fast rate of fire as well. You can hip fire this weapon. It has better accuracy from the hip. Perfect balance, which makes it a laser. You can use sended or armor piercing rounds. For me, I like it being a laser. And String of Curses, which refills your supers faster after a kill. Bottom line is, this thing is a monster. Even after the last patch of 2.1, where pulse rifles took a nerf, this thing's still really good. I mean, it's not quite as good as it was, but it's still very powerful, as you'll see in some of these clips here. It can still take out Guardians very quickly, especially if you're landing those headshots. I think it does 25 damage to the head, and you can see how fast it fires here. Like, look how fast. This thing's a beast. And for me, the look and feel of a weapon is really important, and Bad Juju just does it for me. I mean, I like the sound of it when it's firing. I like how it looks. I like how that wisp of black smoke is coming out of the end of it. I mean, even like the I don't know, the dinosaur-looking spines coming off the back of it. It's just awesome. Like, this is just an awesome weapon. It's just fun to use. It feels great when you're using it. So before the patch, my Nerwin's Mercy was my go-to pulse rifle. It just seemed to kill a little bit faster than the Bad Juju. But now that they've been nerfed, they seem to be about the same now, and so I've gone back to the Bad Juju. Oh, and the other thing I really like about this gun is just the clean sights. Like, I just like how it's just a dot, a little green dot that shows up pretty well on most things. Like right there, see? So it's just aim and fire, and that's, you know, nice and clean and makes the gun really enjoyable to use. So coming up next, we're going to have my third gun on the list, which might surprise some of you. It's the Thorn. Now, for a long time, the Thorn was the only gun. This gun and Hawkmoon were the two guns to use in the Crucible. And people really hated it because I forget how many months it went, but probably like 8 or 9 months where people were just saying, you know, change it, nerf the Thorn, nerf the Thorn. But I've always loved using it. And I put it away for a long time after your hand cannons got nerfed. But I've gone back to it. I've tried it out the other day, and I have to admit, the one thing I really love about it is how much it pisses people off. Like I don't know, I've been using it for the last couple of days, and not every time I go in the Crucible, but I'll use it for a couple of matches and then go on to something else on one of my other favorite guns. But when I use it, I get teabagged so much. Like, it doesn't matter. The whole team will just come after me, or one guy will just be super salty and just teabag me whenever he can, even when it's not him doing the killing and stuff. So yeah, it's just hilarious to watch. But it's also really good. I mean, it's after the ADS has been fixed since the latest patch. It hits more often, and sure, the Thorn doesn't do as much damage over time, but that's fine. I mean, it'll still kill some Guardians that are weakened after you've hit them a couple of times, and you can use it. It's almost like a sniper rifle. Like, it's got a fairly long range. Like, it's really long range for a hand cannon for sure. So sometimes I don't usually use my sniper when I'm using this gun. I just use this gun, and then maybe a sidearm or something, so when they get close. I mean, I'm trying to stay away from shotguns. Really have a thing. Honestly, I wish that they would just get rid of shotguns, but I'll probably make a video about that at some point. But this gun is it's just fun to use. I love the sound of it when it's got a really distinct firing sound when you're shooting it. The other thing that's really useful about the Thorn is how the damage over time betrays their position. Like, when you're hitting them and you see like those little threes popping out, and they go behind a wall or something, you still know where they are, right? So that's super useful if you're in the Crucible. So I hope they come out with a year 2 version of the Thorn, because I'd really like to use it in the Iron Banner and things like that. I've never played in the Trials of Osiris. I'd really like to, but I just haven't had the opportunity. But this is it's a great gun to use. It's a lot of fun. It pisses people off. I've been hit by it a lot recently. So my fourth gun here is the Last Word. I made a whole video about it recently, maybe 2 videos ago, I think. I'll leave a link in the description below, so you can check that out if you want. So I'm not going to talk too long about this gun, but it's just a lot of fun to use. I mean, you feel like a cowboy when you're using it. Because of the Last Word perk there, you want to be hip firing it as much as possible. So that doesn't mean you can't aim down the sights. I mean, you can. It'll extend the range a little bit, but you want to be hip firing it as much as possible. Like right here, like if you get in that sweet spot, that sweet range, it just, look at that, it just mows Guardians down, just melts them. Like that guy there, he doesn't even know what hit him. This gun is amazing when you're running a sniper. You can body shot somebody, then pull this thing out, and one or two shots, and game over for them. They're lying on the ground. Every time you pull this gun out, a godly voice should come from the heavens that says, "Beast mode activated." This thing is just a hella fun to play with. Like, look at this. Watch this. This guy. Look at that guy. He's pretty far away too. I mean, not super far, but he was at a fairly decent range, and I still got him and outgunned him. So yeah, same with this guy. See, and you can back. Like, I usually back up because a lot of people like to try to shotgun me. So this is the Last Word is perfect. It's a perfect defense against shotguns without having to run a shotgun yourself. As like I said, I'm trying to stay away from those. But yeah, see, that guy was definitely coming in there trying to shotgun me. So I'm going to give an honorable mention to the Ace of Spades, which is another gun that I really, really enjoy using in the Crucible. So yeah, I guess I'm just a hand cannon guy. I really like hand cannons. I like using them in the Crucible. I really like using them in PvE as well, even though they're not that great in PvE. I mean, they're not bad. The Ace of Spades is actually pretty good in PvE. Some of its perks lend itself well to PvE experiences, but overall, not bad. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and if you liked it, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. Take care. Cheers.